So I have to do this video before I forget. Dealing with air quality in my home. This is my main service panel, and I'm not going to take the cover off, but believe it or not, so I'm underneath the house, and I'm foaming up underneath the house. I'm painting the wall skirting, cement block, seal it up. I'm going to do some flashing trim around the outside of the house under the siding against the wall, and I'm looking at the watertight conduit coming in for the main service power line, and I see excuse me, I see little mice turds in it. I'm going, well, they're getting up in there now. Who knows what they're doing? I don't think they're chewing through anything, but maybe they're traveling. Who knows? We're just hiding there. So I phoned up. It's a double conduit system. You've got the conduit running through a larger conduit, watertight, under the ground, going to the another box, shut-off box, and then that goes into the transformer through another conduit. So under the house, I sealed that up with expanding foam. And you know, I've been dealing with an issue with this odor in the house, and problem is I could smell a mouse fart across the a mouse fart in the other side of the house. You know, and I smell everything. So walking in the door, I always get this smell, and I always, blame it on the washer. I'm, rinsing the washers all the time, putting essential oils in the washer and rinsing it. It's still having issues with that little bit of a weird smell. It was hard to describe. It wasn't quite mold. It wasn't quite musty. It was a stink, but it wasn't like a death stink. So it's a strange smell. I finally figured it out. So air admittance valves weren't helping, so we got those fixed. I got a video on that, on those pieces of junk. Sewer gas admittance valves for your home. Yes, we let sewer gas into your home. If you have air admittance valves, get rid of them. They're junk. Find a way to plumb around them and get into your stacks, or create another stack and run your vents through your ceiling. Don't run them into your airspace in your attic. Stupid. Introducing all kinds of contaminants into the attic under the sheathing. Yeah, I want to introduce humidity into my attic, into the sheathing, and let molds grow up in there. Anyway, I digress. So long story short, what was happening is that main conduit, air was coming through. So you took a lighter, or you can take a feather. That's going to show you the air coming through, because you're under vacuum with your heating and cooling system. And that's the problem. Once you create a vacuum in the house, your heating and cooling system kicks on. Hell, a small room air filter will create a vacuum in the house enough to backdraft a chimney, okay, slightly. So what was going on is that air was coming back through into the house. So I dealt with it, used a little bit of fire stop expanding foam, just a little bit, to seal that opening where those wires are coming through, and lo and behold, here we go, finally, one step closer. So I'll monitor it over the next week, but just wanted to get this word out there. All my vents on my dryers, we got 3 dryers, are all cleaned. I cleaned the vents, and then they are double trapped so that there's no airflow coming back into them. You have your standard flapper valve on the outside exit of the exhaust of the dryer, but I've got in midway, I have some more air stoppers. They're one way, so they're double stopping any air. It gets a lot of air blowing around up in here, so I'm not going to get any back flow of air through the or minuscule through the dryer vents. So hopefully this helps somebody out in dealing with this indoor air quality in a home. Who would have ever figured the conduit coming into your main panel would be sucking some stank from God knows, through the conduit, through the intermediary shut off, through that box into the transformer. And God, who knows what's living in that transformer? It's a warm space. It's just a fiberglass cap covering the transformer half the time, and who knows what's in there, but problem solved. And I'm just about 90, I think I'm about 95% of the way to getting this home completely sealed up. I need to do a blower door test on this home, and she's pretty airtight. So All right, over and out. Check your conduits if you're dealing with some really nasty odors coming in, or in your home, and you've sealed up the subflooring, you've sealed up the ceilings, you've sealed up the outlet boxes. You got draft stoppers on your dryer exhaust. You've got a proper working draft stopper on your bathroom fans, and one on your exhaust for your microwave, and everything's completely sealed. Then look at your conduit coming into your main service panel in your home. Another thing, I'm probably going to do a video on what not to do in building a home. For instance, putting a laundry room next or in vicinity of your air intake. Laundry room, in my opinion, should be in a separate room, completely sealed, 100%, so that whenever with a fresh air intake on it, right? Because your dryer's sucking air, it should have its own intake, and properly set up for that purpose. That's why a lot of people put their washers and dryers in the garage. It's actually a smart place to put it. I wouldn't put it in the living space unless it was completely sealed. So, and check your air admittance valves, and there you go. But I'll do a video in the future on covering a lot of this stuff, so in one snapshot. All right, hopefully this helps somebody out. Over now.